Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm live. I'm in the studio. You know what to do by now. Get involved in the comments and the chat as we'll be running through all the latest Manchester United stories. We'll be talking about Mason Mount. We're expecting an announcement anytime soon that he is confirmed as a Manchester United player. We've had loads of reports about his medical and all the rest of it. Terms have been agreed ages ago. Fee agreed with Chelsea. It's just a case of him signing on the dotted line and United releasing those juicy pictures of him in a Manchester United kit. So we're getting into that. We'll also be talking about Marcus Rashford, an update on his contract situation. It looks like he's about to put pen to paper. Little bit of a takeover update as well. What is going on there? We'll sort of have a look and see what's doing the rounds. There isn't much to report on that front, but we'll always get involved in it anyway. And plus, Sofyan Amrabat, could be something happening there. Conflicting reports, some saying the terms are agreed, some saying they're not. So we'll get into all that stuff as well. Plus an update as well on Onana. Again, conflicting reports. We're going to have to pick through the bones of that one. So do make sure you are getting involved in the comments and the chat. Loads of people in the comments already. I'm just going to go through some. Brian Casey, Danny Inns, Pravav Kandawale, Brian Casey. Have I said that already? I've said it twice. Edgar Samuel says, Bellum, if you know, you know. Mank Mike, 93. Sleeping Bear, Witterbird. I was asking, do you come to the studio in your packet? I do, but I don't wear it inside the studio. Nava Homer says, morning, Jay. Pravab Kandawali says, Glazers out. Colin Coupledick says, morning, Jay. Good to see you. Good to see all of you. Santa Notch's there. Buffy, whatever. James Kelland. Loads of people in the chat and the comments. Make sure, if you've not done already, you hit that like button. Give us a like. And if you've not done, subscribe to the channel. We've got through the 700,000 subscriber mark. We want to get to 800,000 subscribers. And with your support, yes, we can do it. Right, let's get into it. So let's talk about Mason Mount. Fabrizio Romano tweeted this. Mason Mount has completed medical tests as new Manchester United player at Carrington. Contract until June 2028 plus option confirmed. Can I ask you a question? Is anyone else really warming to the idea of Mason Mount playing for United? Because I went from being completely underwhelmed to indifferent to kind of excited to fully on board with this signing. Now, you might go, oh, why? I'll tell you why. Sorry. Navoma says, Jay butchering my name once again. Apologies, I've probably just butchered it again. The more I spoke to Chelsea fans about this, the more annoyed they are that he's leaving, the more they rate him, the more it makes me think he's actually a good player. And also, when you look at his numbers, if you just want to do the stats, they're very good, impressive. Look at the fact that he was integral to them winning the Champions League as well. That's not to be sniffed at. 24 years old. Seems to fit just what Ten Hag is looking for. There was some suggestions and reports that he's sort of an ideal Eric Ten Hag type player. The way that he sort of, his energy and his effort off the ball plus on the ball, the way he can sort of get involved in goals and assists and just the tempo of the game as well. So it does seem like it makes a lot of sense, this one. So I'm warming to it more and more. Regardless of whether I'm or not, I'm always going to get behind him. He's a Manchester United player. I'll get behind any Manchester United player. But it does make sense. The only sort of question I have now is, do we still have money to make the signings that are essential? Because whilst I think Mason Mount is a deal that you could get on board with, I don't think it was as essential as getting a goalkeeper and a striker in. So I still want to see that we've got enough money left in the kitty to buy a number 9 and to buy a goalkeeper. Otherwise, I'll be like, well, why did we go out and spend a chunk of the budget on Mason Mount? That doesn't make sense. But at the moment, I think I'm sort of getting fully on board with this. Hanlon 86, Jay, his contract includes a no voting Tory clause, so it's all good. Yes, I may have labelled him a snivelling little Tory once, but I have no idea whether he is or not, and it was in the heat of the moment during a watch along. Mank Mike 93 says, I wasn't at all happy, but then starting to see things I'm happy enough. Plus, he actually wanted to come, so he goes up a notch in my book. Yes, I agree. He looks like he was mad keen to come. Also, he's been at Chelsea, I think, since he was a kid. So it can't have been an easy decision for him. But keen to come to United. You can argue with what you want about the deal. It's there or thereabouts in it, what I think we all expected to pay. So it's a deal you can get on board with. Rashida Kassam says, hey Jay, what do you think about Aston Villa signing Pau Torres? He's been linked to us for 4 seasons and also at a lower fee. Decent player, Torres. Had a very good game against us, didn't he, in the Europa League not that long ago? Well, it was a little while ago. I'm not that bothered. Like, I think, you know when you get players and you think there's sort of like a window where it looks like they're going to come to Manchester United and then it fizzles out. There was a time when it looked like Pau Torres was going to be our next signing, or was going to be our next big defender, and it kind of died, didn't it? And then now I think, okay, I'm not that fussed. There was a time when Upamecano looked like he was coming to Manchester United, and I'm glad that didn't happen. Other times when you've looked at other players like Kanate, was linked with us, wasn't he? Obviously, he went to the Scousers. There's been loads of different defenders over the last few years that have been linked with Manchester United, but I think we got the right one in Lisandro Martinez, so I'm not going to lose too much sleep over Pau Torres. Plus, we've got to cut our cloth accordingly, haven't we? We haven't got loads of money to spend, and even though, excuse me, sorry about that. Did anyone still do that when he sneezed? Do you remember that Paul Pogba thing during lockdown? If you're going to sneeze, do the dab, and everyone was ribbing him. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, so we have been linked with Kim Min-jae, but then he's got to Bayern Munich. We have been linked with a couple of defenders. I think in an ideal world, Erik ten Hag would like to bring in another defender. I just don't know if we've got the budget to bring in Mount, a striker, a goalkeeper and a defender as well. But we'll have to wait and see. Right, let's talk about Amrabat. I think Whitterbird's just asked about the what is the midfielder talk. What's more important to you, striker or goalkeeper? For me, the most important signing now is a goalkeeper. I know it's a striker then. Is a goalkeeper. Get involved in the comments in the chat. Let us know what you think. I think we desperately need to sign a goalkeeper. Because as it stands, I think we've got Dean Henderson and Tom Eaton as our only registered goalkeepers. The manager obviously doesn't fancy Dean Henderson. I think he could be heading to Nottingham Forest, back to Nottingham Forest. David De Gea is still up in the air, but I don't think David De Gea should stay at United. I think it's time for him to move on. Let us know what you think. So this is in the Star. This says, Man United agree personal terms. When you see a headline like that, you always think, okay, how solid is this? With midfielder Erik ten Hag has been missing. Manchester United reportedly agree personal terms with Fiorentina midfielder and Moroccan World Cup hero Sofyan Amrabat following his club's defeat to West Ham in the Conference League final. Yeah, so there's a story that was doing the rounds about Manchester United agreeing personal terms with the Fiorentina midfielder Sofyan Amrabat. You saw what he did in the World Cup. Obviously had a very good World Cup. Morocco sort of dazzling everyone, getting to the semi-finals. Looks like he could be available for a decent fee. I think, I don't know if it's got the fee on there yet. 26 million quid. 26 million quid. He's 26 years old. So still, he's not young, but he's still got, through a few years before he reaches his peak. So it kind of makes sense. However, there's conflicting reports here because you've seen that. And then we've got this from the Fiorentina CEO, Baroni, who says, we have not received any bid or proposal for him at all. He's a Fiorentina player now. If an offer comes in, we'll consider it. So there's these conflicting reports now. You could argue, well, okay, maybe the players had a discussion with his agent and the agents had a discussion with Manchester United. Similar to what happened with Mason Mount. I think Mason Mount agreed terms with the club before he agreed, or Chelsea agreed the fee. If you remember, that was all done, wasn't it? In terms of we knew he wanted to come, the terms were agreed, and it was can Chelsea and Manchester United find some common ground? So there might be a little bit of this going on with Amrabat. This is similar to Mason Mount in a way. Not the type of player, but it feels like this is more, there's an opportunity here to get a player at a decent fee that the manager rates, who is in a position we want. He's not necessarily essential, but he's a player that you could use. Let us know what you think about this, because whilst I've just said it, I think ideally a goalkeeper and a striker have to be priorities. Is there a sort of scope for Amrabat to come in and us still to get a goalkeeper and a striker? Because I think we do need more midfielders, even after Mason Mount's arrival, if, as rumours are to be believed, that Fred could be heading out the door. Obviously, I know it doesn't really make much difference because he didn't really play. But Zidane Iqbal's gone out. I know that's almost by the by. No disrespect to the kid, but he wasn't really in the featuring, was he? But we do need more options. Marcel Sabitzer, I don't think he's going to stick around. I think he's already gone back to Bayern Munich. Then you look at McTominay. He's been linked with a move to Newcastle. So there could be some merry-go-rounds going on in midfield. For me, again, if you're getting him in, fine. But you do need to bring in a striker and a goalkeeper. That has got to be essential. That has got to happen no matter whether you bring in Mason Mount, Sofyan Amrabat, whoever else. We have to get a striker and a goalkeeper sorted. Let us know what you think about all these. 20 Legend says, first choice targets only, no more throwaway options. Lewis Fletcher says, what striker would you like to know your name? Haha. Well, ideally, I would have had Harry Kane or Victor Osimhen, but I don't think either of them are going to happen. I think Rasmus Hojlund seems the most likely so far, but we have been linked with other strikers as well. We're going to get into that now. I think there's an article here we've got from the Daily Mail. It says here, Manchester United, deep breaths now, continue talks over Atalanta's Rasmus Hojlund and Frankfurt's Randall Muani as they hoped for breakthrough in striker search, while Marcus Rashford closes in on new contracts. So it says Man United are hoping for a breakthrough in their search for a new star striker. Discussions are ongoing over moves for Rasmus Hojlund and Randall Muani. United boss Erik ten Hag wants a new striker in place before pre-season begins. Now, we do need a new striker. And I said this a few weeks ago, and I've been saying this for a while. I think we need two. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think we need two options to bring in because I don't think one striker is enough. Now, Muani, he's French international, is at Eintracht Frankfurt, 23 goals in all competitions last season, so very good return there. We know Rasmus Hojlund, I think it was 9 goals in Serie A last season. Obviously, he's younger than Muani. I think he's 20 years old, smashing it on the international front. He's played about, 5 games with Denmark, scored 6 goals or something like that. So both of them are good young strikers. Ideally, you're bringing them both. You bring in 2 strikers because I think you need more than just one striker coming in and then it's Marcus down the middle or then it's Anthony Martial if he even sticks around, which I doubt it does. But that's not going to happen. So let me know, would you prefer Muani? Would you prefer Hojlund? Apparently, Atalanta are digging their heels in. They want close to 80 million for Rasmus Hojlund. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it should. He's a good young player, but he's still relatively unproven. And whilst his record in Serie A has been good for Atalanta, and he has scored, a few goals in the cups or whatever, he's not an 80 million pound striker. He just isn't. Ant L says Amrabat is gash. Don't see the bloody fuss. Fair enough. He also says 80 million plus Greenwood for Onana and Lautaro. So he wants to see Lautaro Martinez coming in. O'Hanlon 86 disagrees. He says Ant L. Nah, man, Lautaro is not the guy. So a bit of a discussion coming up there. Brian Casey says need a proven striker and a young up-and-coming talent. That would have been the ideal scenario. We'd have brought in someone like a Harry Kane or a Victor Osimhen and a Rasmus Hojlund. But FFP and obviously the takeover not being sorted has just left our transfer budget a little bit stretched, to say the least. So it looks like we are going to have to sort of budget. And with that budget, it means that you can't get both strikers. You're going to have to get one or the other. So, well, not one or the other, sorry. You can't get one of the big name strikers you want. So you're going to have to get one of the younger strikers. So maybe it is Muani, maybe it's Hojlund. Also on that tweet you saw there, on that article, Marcus Rashford, he's edging closer to a new deal. We want to get that done, don't we? There was some debate going on, is he worth it? I think the numbers being touted were around 275k a week, was it? He's about to look close to finalising a new contract. He should be on that if other players are getting that or more at Manchester United. If Jadon Sancho is getting that, then why wouldn't Marcus Rashford get that? Let's be honest. He's not going to get paid less than someone he's more important to for Manchester United. That doesn't make any sense. So you might argue, well, we're paying too much wages for Jadon Sancho or whatever. But that's not Marcus Rashford's fault, and that's not his problem. And he should be on parity with someone like Jadon Sancho. So that is why he's probably going to be on big money, because he's going to want to be one of the top earners at the club, and he should be. Listen, you might think Marcus Rashford's amazing, you might not. I think he is. But he was our top scorer last season by a good margin. We relied on him a lot for goals. He's been here since he was a kid. Didn't cost us anything. So, for me, get him tied down to a long-term deal. Pay him pretty much what he deserves, because that's the going rate for players at Manchester United at the top end. And let's just not have to worry about any more dramas, shall we say, when it comes to Marcus Rashford. Should we talk about Onana? Andre Onana. This one has been up and down. It's contradictory again. Andre Onana transfer. Al Nassr lodges bid with Inter, rivaling Manchester United for in-demand goalkeeper. So there's talk that he could be heading to Saudi Arabia. There's also talk that he isn't. It's so many conflicting stories here. The rumour mill was going around that obviously Al Nassr are in for him and that he could be going there. There's other conflicting reports saying that he's not going there, he doesn't want to go there, and that Manchester United are still very much in the hunt for him. Definitely seems to fit the bill for Erik ten Hag, the style of football he wants to play, playing out from the back. He knows him. They work together at Ajax, and I think he's around the £40 million, £50 million mark. I think Inter want closer to 60, United are looking at closer to 40. So it looks like they're not a million miles away, are they? Sorry. So it kind of makes sense, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. And obviously, if Saudi Arabian teams coming in offering big money, that might put a bit of a spanner in the works. Hit that like button, please, people. Let's get to 400 likes. We've only got 211 likes, over 1,700 people watching. Come on, we can do better. Nick Bergham says, Onana is coming to United. Inter only wants to deal with United. Marcus says, Rashford is not good enough to be our main guy. He's just not. Whether you think he's good enough or not to be our main guy, he's certainly important to Manchester United, and we certainly need him. I'm not having the one that he's not and we don't need him, because I think if you took Marcus Rashford out of that team, where's your goals coming from? How many goals did Anthony and Jadon Sancho and who else was there? I can't even think of anyone else. Garnacho when I was only a kid. How many did all the other attackers get between them? Weghorst got no Premier League goals. I think Sancho got about 4 or 5. I think Anthony got about 5 or 6. So you take Marcus Rashford out of that attacking lineup, and you're in all sorts of trouble when it comes to goals. Yes, other players should step up, but it's not always that simple of, we'll just bring someone in and they'll score all the goals. It needs to be shared about, and Marcus Rashford is capable of scoring goals for Manchester United, so I think we need to keep him and sign him on the deal that he deserves, basically. Ben77 says Rashford is top class. Lucky Singh says Alex Tellez exit already. Nick Bergham says, having Onana will be like having an extra centre-half. Will calm the whole back four down. I think it'll be great to have him in there. Personally, I think him and Lisandro Martinez linking up would work. I think that, Lisandro Martinez can carry the ball out. Onana can bring the ball out. That works. You've got Casemiro in front of them. You've got Bruno in front of Casemiro. And then hopefully you've got a number 9 in front of them. You look like, we're en route to getting a decent spine. I know we're still not there yet. Santa Notch says we need to provide the right kind of service for the striker as well. Yeah, we do. There's no denying that. Marcus says Rashford is my favourite player, by the way. The facts he's never scored 20 league goals. I don't think he just said, he's never scored 20 league goals. So that's it. I mean, if you look at his goal scoring record for Manchester United, it's very good. I think he scored plus 20 goals in all competitions. Is it like 3 of the last 4 seasons? And he scored 30 goals in all competitions last season. So I just think Marcus Rashford gets some undue stick, to be honest with you. That's just my opinion anyway. Get involved in the comments and let us know what you think. Pistol Pete says, get the likes in, people. UTFR says, Inter asked for Harry in January. I think that's a deal that actually makes a lot of sense, Harry Maguire going in Milan. I think he'd do well in Syria. And I think he'd keep his place in the England team. He obviously cares about that. It's a good chance he can win silverware over there. And obviously he moves on from Manchester United, where he is not even third choice centre-back, is he? Luke Shaw has leapfrogged him in the pecking order at centre-back, and Luke Shaw's not a centre-back. That speaks volumes to me about Harry Maguire and what is going on, and I think it is time for him to move on. Part of the problem, though, apparently, is that Harry Maguire, is because he's on such this big contract, that most clubs aren't going to pay him that way. United might even have to pay him off to move him on, which is kind of weird, isn't it? Because you won't want a transfer fee for him. So, it's just a bit of a shambles, and I was speaking about this the other day, how we're still sort of feeling the repercussions of some of the big contracts that were dished out to some of the players. Whitterbird says, Jay, who is Frankie de Jong going to be? Who is the Frankie de Jong going to be this season? 2 months still to go. Yeah, Frankie de Jong was the one where everyone was going on about him constantly, and it looked like he was going to come to United at one point. I think there was some sort of deal agreed with Barcelona. Didn't happen. I think he was holding out for some payment that they owed him from when he took a wage cut. Didn't materialise. He stayed at the new camp, obviously. Is there going to be another one of those that rumbles on and on and on? Maybe it is Andre Onana. I hope not. Maybe it is Rasmus Hojlund. It'd be quite good if we got some deals done quickly. We've got one practically done in Mason Mount. It'd be good to see us get some other deals done before the pre-season tour. Just on the pre-season tour as well, we're going to be there. Me, McCullough, Joe Smith, Stephen Howson, going to be over in the US for the pre-season tour. Going to be loads of stuff over there as well. So make sure you are getting involved. If you're over in the States, come and join us. If not, you'll see all the content on the channel. So make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. We want to see you all getting involved with this channel as well. And like I said earlier, we want to get to 800,000 subscribers. And with your support, can do it. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks to everyone who got involved in the comments. Just one last thing. On the takeover, there was rumours doing the rounds that the takeover was going to be announced today. I think Rio Ferdinand might have been behind some of those rumours, to be honest with you. I haven't seen anything concrete. I haven't seen anything where I can go, yeah, it looks like it's going to happen. If it does, we will keep you posted. As always, we will be going live straight away if there are any major announcements when it comes to the takeover, when it comes to transfers. So make sure you are subscribing to this channel. Hit that bell. I've been J Motty. This has been the Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.